Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Janmadhyasya yatonvayad itarataschahteshu abhijñā swarat. Tene brahmahridayadikavaye muhyanti yatsurayah. Tejo varimridam yatha vinimayo yatra trisargom risha. Dhamna svena sada nirastakuhakam satyam param dhimahi. Dharma projita kaitavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam. Vedyam vastavamatra vastu shivadam tapatrayonmulanam. Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni-krite kim va paredishvara. Sadyo hrudya varudhyate prakritibhishu shrubhistat kshanat. Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam shukhamukhadamritadrava samyatam. Pibata bhagavata rasamalayam muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavukaha. Aradhya Bhagavan Brajesha Tanayata Dhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachid Upasana Vrajavadhu Vargena Kalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pranamamalam Prema Pumartho Mahan Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhor Matamidam Tatradaro Na Paraha Yat Pada Pallavayugam Vinidhaya Kumbha Dvandve Pranama Samaye Saganadhiraja Vignan vihantumalamasya jagattrayasya Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Grim Yat Kripad. Hare Krishna. So exactly 5:30 we are. How many devotees? 31. Okay. So shall we begin with a good recap of previous sessions?
Om.
Thank you. I need little more unison, so everybody can unmute their microphone. And when I ask, shall we begin? And Om means you are. That's how we could begin with your permission. So now you can unmute. Sorry, you can mute your microphone. So on the slide, you are seeing this the particular slide on the screen. Kindly visit our websites here that we have given: ctindia.org, maduramridanga.com, vishnudutas.com, varnashramcollege.com, Advai, ADVAYE, where we have put up all our toys and etc. As a result of our research on Krishna Krida. So krishnakrida.com is also there to visit these things. Okay, let's go ahead, Prabhu. For those who have joined just recently, the purpose of this presentation, I mean the how it came about, right? This is to make aware everybody, right? So that was the reason. One of the topic in this book that I had compiled quite a few years back was Marana Nimittas, but in my second edition I am adding a lot of things, and I felt that this should be propagated. Otherwise, as usual, the book will catch dust in the libraries. So it should also be propagated by discussing and talking and teaching about it, right? So this is one of the 64 arts. Okay. So we are dealing with the topic today, foretelling death. Yesterday we have covered facts of life and day before yesterday, facts of life and death, and science of foretelling death. So we'll do a good recap of both days for the benefit of all those who have attended, not attended, and also for those who have attended, it will be a good thing for them to go through. Okay, let's start with the recap. Yes, next slide. So the first and foremost, previous line. Yeah, there's a previous slide. Yeah, thank you. First and foremost, we discussed is the importance of human's lifespan being very short, is it not? So we all know life is short, but really how short it is, that's what we try to discuss, to appreciate, right? To understand the importance of the remaining lifespan that we have, right? So there are varieties of deaths hanging on us. 100% everybody has to face the death, right? So there are different types of deaths, mainly two types of death. Only important two types of death are Akala Mrityu and Kala Mrityu. Like when we drink Charanamrita, we chant this mantra, right? Akala Mrityu Haranam Sarvavyadi Vinashanam Sarvopadravad Vinashanam Vishnu Padodakam Dhruvam. Like this we take Charanamrita, right? So similarly, where it is said Akala Mrityu Haranam, Akala Mrityu. So one type of Mrityu is Akala Mrityu. And Kala Mrityu, everybody has to die, right? There is a particular, everybody gets old. In generally, we think like this, everybody has to get old and then one day they will die. Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshanu Darshanam. We know that. So, but there are many different varieties of untimely death also. Like accidents may happen, diseases may come, some other calamities may happen, so on and so forth. So like pandemic, now corona may come. So because a whole society is sinful, we are part of that sinful society, we also have to face that. So this is called as pandemic, floods, and so on and so forth. Okay. So calamities are there. So there are 100 varieties of untimely death and one type of, that is one Kala Mrityu. So they're all hanging upon us. I told the story yesterday of how in Mahabharata there is a story that a person got lost in the dark forest, in the deep dark forest, and then he had to run for his life when he heard a lion, wanting to chase him, right? And then he ran for his life, fell down in a dark, deep dark well. But while falling, he caught hold on to a branch of a small, creeper, and then started hanging upside down. And then, it was going to and fro, and then a mouse started biting that branch actually. So it was a time that it will bite fully and he will fall down. If he had fallen down, and when he saw that what is going to happen if he falls down, a lot of serpents are waiting with hoods, to bite him. So that was the situation. And in that situation, he found that when to and fro he was going, something fell on his nose, very tasty thing, and he found that it was honey. Oh, really? Wonderful. Forest honey, so tasty. And he was hankering for it so that every time this time, the branch would come, he would extend his tongue and look for that drop of honey that will fall. And forgot about his situation while lion is waiting for him on the top, and serpents are waiting for him at the bottom, and mouse is biting. The same situation we are in. So, this body is very short, time limited. Plus, we have lost of time. We have wasted our time a lot in so many things, is it not? We have wasted in we waste in eating, sleeping, mating, depending. We have wasted in during childhood. At the end of life, we start worrying about balastavat kridasakat tarunastavat taruni rakta vruddhastavat chinta magna, right? So this way we have wasted our lifespan. That is also we have lost. First of all, life is very short. There are so many debts hanging upon us. We have we have reduced our lifespan by kama, krodha, mada, lobha, by deep breaths, because we have discussed that 21,600 breaths usually we take per day, and that comes to 77 crores, 76 lakhs breaths per year. Is it not? So so that's allocated number of breaths that we have. If we take these breaths faster by performing lot of sinful activities, right? Kama, krodha, mada, lobha, matsarya, all these things. So what will happen? Uh, that 77, the time that we are supposed to take those many breaths, we take faster. So relatively, we may say 100 years, but my 100 years, Bharat Chandra Dasa 100 years may not be same as somebody else's 100 years. I might have finished those 100 years faster, right? So in that way, time is very, very, very short, very short. So therefore, it is foolishness to neglect death. Say even an ant, when you try to kill it, it will try to escape, is it not? So what about us as a human being? We are supposed to be intelligent. Death is hanging upon us, where time is very short, and we are neglecting death. We are thinking, oh, anyway, death will come one day. Why to be afraid of it? As if I were a great yogi. No, literally we are neglecting it. We are foolish to neglect it. So therefore, uh, you know, in fact, you're as if we are in control. We say, okay, death will come one day, no problem. That's not. In fact, we're condemned to die. Is it not, like a criminal? So we're going to be punished. So therefore, we should be very intelligently thinking, how should I escape death? In other words, how should I escape the cycle of birth and death? Again, this will go on. So therefore, birth is very painful, death is very painful. It's not about being painful, it's about being intelligent, is it not? How to uh, not neglect. Neglecting death is like offense. Neglecting death is an offense. Why? Upeksha doshaha. Oh, death, what is that? But it's being foolishness to neglect, because right at that moment we don't know, we are not prepared at all. It's like going to an examination hall without studying, without having a textbook, without having a hall ticket, without having even a pen to write. What will happen? It's real foolishness, is it not? One day exam will come. Why to worry? No, you are supposed to study for it, prepare for it, plan for it, is it not? So therefore, that is what is expected from a human being. Hmm? Uh, so still people neglect, and that's why Krishna comes as death for such people and snatch away everything. Right? Mrityu sarva haraschaham udbhavishyata bhavishyata. Udbhavishyata, what is that? Mrityu sarva haraschaham. Anyway, so we are dealing with Mrityu sarva haraschaham. So we have so many attachments. Sarva haras. Why hara? Because we are attached to it. So many things we are attached to it. Family life, country, countrymen, my party, and so on and so forth. We are attached. Janma mrityu, janma aishwarya, janma aishwarya shuta. So on and so forth. And no preparation, and Yamadutas are naturally going to come because we are sinful. Then what is going to happen? Death is harrowingly painful. And it is said in Shastra, Koti Yugapad Vrishchika, 1 crore of scorpions, Yugapad, at a time stinging. If you have experienced scorpion sting, you know what it is actually. It is severe sting. Severe, it is, personally I have experienced. It's unbearable. It's extreme pain. Apart from the poison, the pain itself is very severe. So, so let's go ahead. That's what that we should not neglect death. We should be rather vigilant about that. That is intelligence. So, anyone who can understand the plan of the Supreme Lord, that this place is reformation of the soul. This place, we have been put into this place, or rather we chose to be in this place, And Krishna has mercifully provided us this material creation for what? And we have got this chance as a human form of life in Mrityuloka. In fact, even demigods hanker for it. And especially Bharat Bhumite Hoila Manushya Janmaja. So why there is a specific plan by Krishna for this creation. What is the plan? For our reformation. This whole thing is for our reformation. If we can understand this plan of Supreme Lord and submit to that plan, that is being most intelligent. And that means we are not negligent of death. We are vigilant of death. We are practicing Krishna consciousness to complete our life, whatever lifespan we have left with. We try to complete our Krishna consciousness. What is the meaning of completing Krishna consciousness? To develop love for Krishna. Right? To revive dormant love for Krishna is what is understood as the success of human form. In that understanding, we may aspire to live for 100 years. This is called, Ishopanishad. In Vedas, Ishopanishad, Upanishad. And Ishopanishad is one of the principal Upanishads. There it is told, Jiji Visheshatam Shamaha, Kurvaneva Hakarmani, Jiji Visheshatam Shamaha. So if you are living in this consciousness, then you may aspire to live for 100 years. It's very interesting, right? So, we want to sadhana sharira vidu sadhana, this is a sadhana sharira. This body is for not ordinary. In Kannada, sadharana vella vidu, sadhu priya. O Krishna, O sadhu priya. This is sadhana sharira, kindly given by you. Kindly help me to kindly remove this apamrityu or akala mrityu hanging on my head, and let me live. Kindly bestow me long life so that I can complete my Krishna consciousness. But further, once we have developed Krishna consciousness, then, like Kulashekar Alvar teaches, right? What is that? Kantavarodhana vidho smaranam kutaste. Now I can advaiva me vishatu me manasa hamsarajam. So I am ready to leave the body now. Since I have developed love for you, I don't have any other further thing to do here. I am ready to leave now. Advaiva me. Let it be today also, no problem. Why? Who knows, tomorrow my whole thing might get tough and I am not able to remember you. Smaranam kutaste. Maybe I may not be remembered. So there is no problem. Jivo va marova. You know the story. When a saint went, he saw various people, and for a Rajaputra, he said, Chiramjiva. Rajaputra, Chiramjiva. You may live for long. And so on and so forth, right? Then he met a butcher. He said, Ma jiva ma mara. Better you don't live, don't die. You're so sinful. Sadhu, he saw. He said, Ma jiva. Better you, because you're going to go to heaven. You've done good pious activities. But for a bhakta, he said, Ma jiva ma mara. Jivo va marova. You may live or die, no problem. Because you're ready for anything, no problem. Yeah. So this way, the mission of human life is to be completed within this span of life. Let's go ahead, Prabhu. How to do that? So 3 things are very important for that to do. Association of devotees, right? Tulayama lavenapi na swargam na punarbhavam. So again, there is no repetition of cycle of birth and death, even if we get a moment of pure devotees association. Moment, one fraction of second. Sadhu Sangha, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. Lava Matra, fraction of a second if we get association of devotees. So that is. So association of devotees, what will we do in association of devotees? We develop, cultivate Krishna consciousness, is it not? And try to revive the dormant love of God. That means we should go from Adav, Shraddha, Tata, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti. And then Bhava, Prema. Right? So we have to come to the Prema Prayojana. Adav, Shraddha. Shraddha means, yes, Shraddha ko hai Sudra Shwasa, Krishna, Sarva karma krita hai. Krishna bhakti kaila sarva karma krita hai. So what if we do Krishna's service, everything will happen. Everything is achieved just by Krishna's service. No need of external things. So that Shraddha is required. Bhajana Kriya, already 64 angas of Bhajana Kriya is given, right? Starting with Guru Padashrayam, etc. So we will discuss if you want in future. But yeah, so Bhajana Kriya. And then another important point is knowledge of this Marana Nimittas is also important. Why? We know we are prepared, is it not? So Jnatva Kalam Chatam Samyag. Samyag means very nicely, completely. Jnatva Kalam. Oh, when am I going to leave the body? Samyag. Drishtarishtam Tatha Yogi Tektva Maranajam Bhayam. So then there is no bhaya. We are prepared. Is it not? So three things are very important. To be ready and prepared and practice and face the death. How will a devotee face the death? They will just, as a stepping stone, they will cross over. Whereas for a a non-devotee, it's like a slaughterhouse. Literally, they are pulled by Yamadutas, and for devotees, Vishnudutas take them to Vaikuntha Loka. Is it not? And then, even if they not completed their Krishna consciousness, no problem. They will be given chance. Yamaraj is so merciful. He will give a chance. He will say, "Oh, you have done so. Okay." So there is award of heaven, or there is award of Shuchinam Srimatam Yehe Yogo Brishto Vijayate. Rebirth in a human form of life in a very nice family where I can continue my Krishna consciousness. Right? So choice is ours to conquer death. Therefore, we should be ready with preparation. So we should prepare for death, right? That is intelligence. Let's go ahead. So, a very interesting quote which I have not yesterday addressed. We should all read this. One has to give up all attachment for Prabhupada is saying in Bhagavatam purport of 1:18:24:25. One has to give up all attachment for worldly relations before one is able to go back to Godhead. And thus, when a devotee is too much absorbed in worldly affairs, right, that means we have to give up attachment, is it not? We have to give up the attachment and be ready. We should be able to go back to Godhead. So therefore, even if a devotee is attached in worldly affairs, the Lord creates a situation. Even say we are already practicing Krishna consciousness, but we are still attracted by this worldly affairs and we are busy. But what will Krishna do? Being merciful, he never forgets his pure devotee and therefore creates such a situation. So Supreme Lord never forgets his pure devotee, even though the latter may be engaged in so-called worldly affairs. So-called worldly affairs. Right? The Lord creates a situation to cause indifference. The Supreme Lord never forgets his pure devotee, even though the latter may be engaged in so-called worldly affairs. Thus, the Lord sometimes creates an awkward situation, and the devotee becomes obliged to renounce all worldly affairs. This is in the context of Parikshit Maharaj, right? Creates an awkward situation, and devotee becomes obliged to renounce all worldly affairs. The devotee can understand the situation by the signal of the Lord, but others take it as to be unfavorable and frustrating. So how a devotee considers every situation? Oh, it is Krishna is giving this direction. Krishna is creating this situation. So nimittas are seen as signals of the Lord. And Krishna is literally interacting with us every second, every moment of our life. Krishna is directing. So this is a science of Nimitta-Jnana, and devotee is supposed to take them as signals of the Lord. And that is true. So let's go ahead. So in that consciousness, when he is always in that consciousness, right? So Prabhupada says again in the 4th canto 28:15 purport, if in our healthy condition we think of the lotus feet of the Lord and die, it is most fortunate, right? In old age, at the time of death, the throat sometimes becomes choked up with mucus, just like Kulashekara Alvar. listening, or blocked by it. At such time, the sound vibration of Hare Krishna Mahamantra may not come out. Thus, one may forget Krishna. Of course, those who are strong in Krishna consciousness cannot possibly forget Krishna at any stage because they are accustomed to chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, especially when there is a signal from death. Now, why did Prabhupada write signal from death? What is the meaning of this signal from death? The same thing we are talking. Marana Nimittas, is it not? Okay, let's go ahead. Therefore, yastu veda narah samyak tatha adhyayam va punaha samsara chakramutsrujya tektva trivida bandhanai प्राप्नोति ब्रह्मलय परमे परमात्मनि अक्षिणी कर्म बंधश्च ज्ञात्वा मृत्युम अरिष्टः. So ज्ञात्वा मृत्युम अरिष्टः means every bhakti yogi, right, who is a seeker of spiritual life, should be adept with this knowledge, equipped with this understanding of what? Mrityu arishta. Mrityu arishta means the death signs, Mrityu Nimittas, Marana Nimittas. Right? Okay, let's go ahead. Who cannot understand? We have discussed yesterday. Mithya drishtam arishtabham anarishtam ajanata arishtam va api asumbuddham etat prajna aparadhajam. Charaka Samhita, Charaka Muni says, due to intellectual blasphemy, prajna aparadha. We will discuss that in a second. One cannot recognize the symptoms of imminent death and sometimes considers as something to be real symptoms and when they are not. So in other words, a prajna aparadhi will not be able to understand these Marana Nimittas. What is prajna aparadhi? Prajna aparadhi means going against the laws of nature, going against the Shastra. Yah Shastram idi utsrijya vartate kamakaratah na sa siddhim avapnoti na sukham na param gatim. So, yes, Shastramadi Utsritya, according to Shastra. So, what is Shastra? You must get up early in the morning. You should, practice these activities. Don't eat at this time. Sleep at this time. Don't midnight. Don't eat. Don't take 10 times bath. One should take at least 2 times bath. So on and so forth. Right? Shastra is giving not only spiritual understanding, but also there are various prescribed activities and systems that has to be followed. So if in the hot sun, if I go and sit, what will happen? If some people crazily they say, okay, let me see, during Grahana time, let me eat, and in front of Grahana, well, they'll show in the TV, they're eating. This is called as Prajna Aparadhi. Very crazy fellows. They don't know the importance of following the norms and regulations and rules, because they are beyond. If we do, there is going to be a lot of pandemic, lot of calamities. The demigods will not be happy. Further, we will ourselves, ati, everything. What will happen? Let me eat salt more and more. What is going to happen? You'll get a BP and you will develop a lot of problems and you will die. Let me eat sugar, no problem. Junk food, no problem. What will happen? So there is a limit for everything. There is a system for everything. Things run in a proper fashion, orderly fashion. Everything has to be done in a proper way. And we should know that from the Shastra, Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Is it not? So, this way we should lead our life. There are rules, systems, regulations. If we go in the red signal, what will happen? Police will catch. So similarly, there are systems. So that is known as Prajna Aparadhi. They will not be able to understand. Prajna Aparadhis will not be able to understand. Then, Dvandvarogardita Trasta Kalaha Amisha Kanshinaha. Dvandvaroga. So, dualities of life, happiness. I am happy, I am unhappy. This is called as Shosha and Akanksha. Shoka and Akanksha. Shoka means I'm unhappy, and again I'm happy, again unhappy, again unhappy. This is called Dvandva Roga. This is a disease of this thing. So one should be Krishna conscious, not afflicted with Dvandva Roga. And Trasta, Dvandva Roga Trasta. Kalaha, the fighting spirit, always fighting, as if coming from the hell actually. always ready to fight. Amisha, desire of eating meat. Amisha Kamshina. So such people will also not be able to understand Marana Nimittas. Right? That means a devotee, a Krishna conscious person can understand these uh, Marana Nimittas. Otherwise it is not possible. Otherwise it is not possible. Let's go ahead. Okay. So here again Prabhupada is saying, very interesting. He does not want to die and death signals are there. The death signal is always there, but he has, under the influence of Maya, he is thinking that there is no danger. But that danger can take place any moment and he is not making any solution. That is called as Maya. Hence he is thinking, I am safe, I am not going to die. That's why it is ahani hani bhutani gachanti amalayam. Yudhishthira Maharaj, ahani hani bhutani gachanti amalayam. Shesha sthavaram icchanti. Kimatisha, kimashisha, atah param. What is more wonderful, surprising thing this is than this, so foolish people are that we are seeing somebody is dying every day and die out, but we are thinking, I am not going to die, I am safe. I am safe from this. I am not going to die. This is called as Maya. Right? So, this is such Maya grasta. Maya apahrita jnana asuram bhava mashita. They will not be able to understand. Okay, let's go ahead. And we discussed the science, the vijnana of foretelling death. How is that we are able to get this, able to foretell death? Because yascha yama sharirha prajnatma yascha yava aditya ekam aditya vochama. So yascha yama sharirha, what in the body, prajnatma, the intelligence or the Lord in the body, in our heart, right? Yaschayav Aditya, the same Lord is also there in the Aditya, that is in the sun, right? Lord Pradyumna is a predominant deity in the sun, and Lord Aniruddha is a predominant deity in the heart, who are same, both are same, right? And since Lord Pradyumna is in the sun, he is also there in our eyes. Is in our eyes. So Pradyumna, that is in our eyes, and Aniruddha in our heart, when they both lords leave our body, various signs and symptoms are seen of death. So when they leave, when they are about to leave, the soul doesn't have any existence without the Lord. It cannot survive without the Lord's support. Every second, everything is supported by the Lord only. So since it cannot leave, what Vayudeva does is he helps the soul to carry it and carries the soul away. Udana Vayu carries the soul away. So, when both lords are leaving, Pradyumna and Aniruddha is leaving the body, that time various signs and symptoms are seen. That is the science behind this. Otherwise, there is no chance of seeing any other signals without such a thing. That's why it is told in Shastra, we also discussed it, that death signs are 100% sure. It is not that death signs may not come. Whether it is Kala Mrityu or Akala Mrityu, death signs will definitely come. 100%. Without, it is said in nature, error may happen, saying, flower may come out without fruit. Fruit may come out without flower. And sometimes we see. So that aberration can happen in the nature, but not in the death signs. Okay? Let's go ahead. So, further, since the lords are leaving, Pradyumna and Aniruddha are leaving, the soul is also forced to leave. And Udana Vayu carries. When the soul is leaving, just like when a king is leaving for a tour, what will happen? The king is surrounded by all his countrymen, citizens surround him, and commanders, and so on and so forth, the queens, everybody surround the king and wish, and so on and so forth. Is it not? They surround the soul, the king. Similarly, all the senses, they retract and surround the soul. Consciousness retracts and everything retracts and surround the soul. So that is also creating a different death. So that is also causing the death signs. So this way, This is the reason that death signs are being seen. Okay, let's go ahead. So we also discussed different types of Marana Nimittas. Trividham Arishtam. Three types of Marana Nimittas are there. Bhuvi Divi Atmani. What is that? Adhyatmik, Adi Bhautik and Adi Daivik. Adhyatmik means those signs which are seen within our body, as in the body, in various in the senses and various behavioral changes and physiological, psychological, behavioral, visual, hearing, olfactory, etc., etc. And then there is dreams also. So adhyatmic. And then adi bhautik, we see in the atmosphere, we see in other person's behavior, we see in the birds, beasts, trees, etc. Adi daivik, we see antariksha, right? The clouds, the sky, the sun, the moon, the stars, the planetary positions, and this is called as adi daivik. So three different types of nimittas that we can understand that death is going to be near for me or for somebody else. Okay, let's go ahead. Therefore, advaiva kruya shreyo matvam kalo tyagadayam, kalo atyaga, right? Akrishmeva kareshu mrityurvai samprakarshati. So, advaiva kru, oh, so the time is very less. This is a very interesting verse actually. In Mahabharata, Shanti Parva, the discussion of Marana Nimittas is going on, how death will come, when, etc. And this shloka is spoken. Therefore, oh my friends, oh my human beings, fellow human beings, Advaiva Kuru, time is very short. You came to know now death is going to come, so on and so forth. Okay, now what is to be done? Or you are going to come to know about death. So what is to be done? Let us do what is to be done tomorrow. Let us do that today itself. What is to be done today? Let us complete it now itself, so that we will complete our Krishna consciousness. We will complete our activities, make our life successful. Okay, so here is where we stopped, and I think we did a good recap for those who have not attended the day before yesterday, but also for the benefit of others. So let's go ahead now. Therefore, without further delay, let us start studying the science of death. Okay, next slide. Oh, what happened? Next slide, please. Oh, Krishna, I think I have copied the wrong file. And I have deleted the old file.
Let me check, Prabhu, 1 second.
No, this should not have happened. But I am just joking. When the climax has come, if you go down, you will get on the slide. I just thought, let me create some anticlimax. Okay. So what qualities are required in a person learning and understanding Marana Nimittas? When the thing is very hot and everybody is ready, and you can create some anticlimax. Okay. But let's see, very important, please know, we should be fully dependent on the Supreme Lord. The example in Bhagavatam is given, just like a bull. To understand Marana Nimittas, these qualities are required. Please understand. You can't say, oh, let me see what Marana Nimittas are going to see. No. First of all, we should be fully dependent on the Lord to understand Marana Nimittas. We should be such a person. We should, just like a bull. The example in Bhagavatam is given in 4th canto. Maybe I can pull it later. But just like a bull, when the master says, get up, it is ready to get up. Master says, come on. So they don't know what is going to happen to them. The master may put them to the hull for plowing, or he may put us to the bullock cart, or he may give us some food, or he may take us to the river to take bath, give us a bath, or he may just leave us for grazing, or whatever. We don't know. They're ready. And every moment they are dependent on the master. So similarly, a person, a devotee should be fully dependent on the Supreme Lord. Then only we will be able to understand the Marana Nimittas. Every second, that is called as Nimitta Matra. By being Nimitta Matra, one can understand Nimittas, Marana Nimittas, or any Nimittas, right? So that is the first criteria. Second is purity is a force, Krishna consciousness, chanting, see, very interesting. Dhruva Maharaj, when the Vaikuntha plane came to take back Dhruva Maharaj, at that moment also Dhruva Maharaj was, he is at the, before boarding the plane, he performed all the morning and duties of the Krishna consciousness that is to be done. And the plane was waiting with the Vishnu Dutras. Okay, let Dhruva Maharaj complete. He took bath, he did his chanting, and then he whatever puja he did, and then he came to climb the Vaikuntha plane. So all were waiting. So there is no question of neglect of performance of Krishna conscious duties. So purity is the force. Then Satyam Daya Tapa Shaucham. Obviously, when we perform Shravanam in all the Navavida Bhakti, we'll get these qualities. What are those? Satyam. Bhuta Droha Varjitam. First, Satyam means what? Bhuta Droha Varjitam. Bhuta Droha Varjitam means not to expect bad for anybody. Not to feel that somebody should droha, means somebody, let them suffer. If we don't feel such a thing, and if we feel that let good thing happen to everybody, sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, this should be the quality, mentality and the consciousness, then that is called as Satyam. Then, so devotees are actually following Satyam. Why? They don't want any bad thing to happen to anybody. Let good thing to happen to everybody. What is that good thing? Shreya and Preya, two things are there. Shreya means the ultimate benefit is they should escape this cycle of birth and death. That should be the concern. That is compassion, the real compassion. Next is Daya. Paraprida Nivrittihi. Paraprida. So Parapida, I want to help everybody who is suffering, right? That is Paraprida Nivrittihi. Tapaha. Ekadashi Upvasa is called as Tapaha. And Shaucham is cleanliness. Outside and inside. Outside is by taking bath twice a day, and inside is by chanting. So this way, Satyadaya Tapa Shaucham. One should be very humble, meek and humble. If I say I am, oh, what are these aristas? And tomorrow I go on announcing, oh, tomorrow you may die. Then what will happen? So we should be humble. A person who's knowledgeable or knowledge of aristas should be humble or should have humility. Then only they can appreciate and understand aristas. They should be contemplative. They should understand. They should meditate on it. They should think on it. And they should verify from Shastras. So this way, these qualities are expected from those who are ready to understand and learn and also help others about Marana Nimittas. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay. One important slide, right? So we can foretell death 8 years to immediate. Even they go on to 10 years, 12 years also. But let us say with 8 years we will start. From 8 years, because the same symptoms repeat actually many times. So 8 years we can predict. 5 years, from 5 years we can predict. Now, for example, if I predicted certain symptoms, foretell certain, then okay, I understand. Oh, this is what Krishna is giving an indication. I may leave the body in 8 years, or 5 years, or 4 years, or 3 years. I can predict. I can, through symptoms. 1 year, 11 months, 10 months, 9 months, 8 months, 7 months, 6 months, 5 months before, 4 months before, 3 months before we can predict. 2 months, 1 month, 15 days, 10 days, 7 days. And also, immediately I can predict. In other words, this is a classification based on time. We can classify differently also. What I have done is compiled the things from the Shastra and put it in a timeline manner. Of course, more work can be done, but whatever I have done is in a categorizing in a timeline manner for the benefit of all. Because first of all, I would like to know how long time I have, how much how much time do I have now? Is it not? When if we come to know, then that is great, isn't it? The problem is we don't know how long we are going to live, right? So, like Prabhupada mentioned, that especially devotees are cautious when the signals of death are coming. Is it not? That means we are cautious. That is being intelligent, is it not? Okay, so let's begin. Are you all ready? Right. Everybody is all ears, I'm sure. So the first sign, let's start with 8 years. We'll go down in a descending order. There's a very interesting verse from Aditya Purana. This is a Purana which is not available now, but the compilation in Adbhuta Sagara. In fact, Aditya Purana is also quoted very much in our Goswami literature. But unfortunately, the whole Purana is not available nowadays, Aditya Purana. Maybe if we research in the manuscript library, still it may be available. But right now, with the whatever catalog we have in of all the Oriental libraries and etc., where there is nowhere this Aditya Purana is to be found. At least I have not been able to search, and through whatever Parishas, all that, right? We are not able to find this. Okay. But Adbhuta Sagara is a very wonderful scripture compiled by a Vaisnava, a king in Orissa. His name was Ballada Sena. He compiled this very wonderful scripture, and this is like an encyclopedia actually. So everything in Sanskrit. It's not translated yet, but a wealth of knowledge is available in that. Anyway, so let's begin. What is this sign that we will get at the 8th year? Netrasyodhe dakshinadah adha samstham yada kalam tam shashino na pashyet tada varsher ashtayvihi svam cha deham jahet cha nityam gatavan cha nityah. So the meaning here is netrasyodhe dakshinasya adha samstham. So dakshina, at the right tip of the ears, right? If we press netrasyordhe adha samstham yada kalam tam shashino na pashyet. If we press and if we don't see the moon, shashina means moon. If you don't see moon-like ball structure in our eyes, while closing our eyes, and if we press at the down, adha, at the bottom of the eyes, now can you all see me? I am demonstrating. Can you all see me? So press below the eyes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. And if you don't notice, moon-like ball, black color, moon-like ball structure below the eye. If you press below the eye, the down part of the eye, and if you don't notice black like moon-like ball, that is then jahecha nityam gatavasa nityah sadeham tat varsher ashtavihi. Then in 8 years, that is going to come. So it is clear. Everybody can appreciate.
Show one time more, please.
Yeah. Netrasyordhe dakshina adaha. So press below the eyes. If you press at the tip of the eye, right? Both tips of the eye, you can appreciate very easily the black color moon-like ball. Okay? Don't get panic. Just try. You will be able to see moon-like structure, right? At the tip of the eye, if you press, you will see moon-like structure. So, right? You're not able to see? Take your time, slowly. Press at the bottom, tip of the eye, okay, little bit. Then we will see the moon-like structure. That is known as, right, Shashinaha. So if you see that moon-like structure, then there is no question of death still being near, at least the Kala Mrityu and even a Kala Mrityu. So,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
I tried it. I saw that moonlight thing on one eye. I saw.
Yeah. So if you try it again a few places, we'll come to some other symptoms also. So when you try, you will start appreciating. There is a sort of moon-like ball that appears when we press at the tip of the eyes. Okay. Both eyes we'll see. Right?
Black color.
So no.
Hare
So,
Krishna,
yeah.
Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. I have observed both eyes. I got it.
Yeah. So that is called as. So see, Many times we may not be able to see certain things. Don't get panic. And that means, that only means that yes, time may be up for me slowly. But don't get panic. The purpose is not to be fearful of this. That's why I said a Krishna conscious person can handle this. Nobody else can handle this. A Krishna conscious person knows, oh, Krishna, you are giving me indication. Now let me practice Krishna consciousness. This is what it means, is it not? This is what we're supposed to do, is it not? So that's what we will discuss at the end of the session. Paraloka sadhana karma. Now that I know all these things, what am I supposed to do? Right? Now that I know the time is so and so, what am I supposed to do? So that is called as Paraloka sadhana karma. This is not my speculation. It is there in Shastra or in Vedas. That is the highest evidence for us. And Srimad Bhagavatam is the supreme evidence for us. It is there in Shastra. So we should be prepared. Prabhupada is saying also. A devotee gets prepared. Is it not? So then why these signals, signs and symptoms are not given in Bhagavatam? Who said it's not given? In many ways it is given. And it is not that only everything should be told in Bhagavatam in complete details, but there are bhashyas, there are commentaries of acharyas that we should study and understand. And also we should take it from Goswami, other literatures, compilations. So many literatures are there where these things are revealed. So 64 arts, this is one of the 64 arts, right? So, Netrasyorde Dakshinadaha Sanstha Yada Kalam. Kalam means part of the moon. It's not full moon, right? Yada Kalam Tam Shashino na Pashyet Tada Varshay Rashtabhihi. So then 8 years. Swam cha deham jahet cha nityam gatavas nitya. 100%. So it is a death sign. Okay. Next. Let's go next.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah.
Hari Prabhu, can you just demonstrate that one more time? Sorry, the screen got stuck and I wasn't able to see your video. Sorry for this. You can just demonstrate one more time, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. See, Netrasyordehe Dakshinadaha Samstham. Actually, the Dakshinadaha means the right side. Press on the right side. But even if you press on both ends, that's the next sign I will describe. So even if you press on the tip of the eyes, both eyes. Can you see me on the screen?
Yes, Prabhu, I can see it on the screen now. Yeah, thank you, Prabhu.
Or the bottom, the tip. You will see Shashina, moon-like ball.
And it's coming like golden orangish color, Prabhu. Is that?
I will come to that point. That is also a sign. That is also a sign, a very important sign. But if you press on top, it will come. Where are you pressing, Prabhu? Golden orange, where you are getting it?
On the tip, Prabhu, like what you're showing.
Yeah. So that is also there. And if you press, a dark like moon structure also is seen. If you press below, dark moon structure is also seen. Okay? You press at some time, right? The bottom of the tip of the eyes. Now, one more. Very interesting. Tatrabjam tu vijaniyat shodasha chadamaindavam dvadasha aram bhavet sauram ityagam gatistvayam. Tatrabjam, the moon, abja is moon. Tu vijaniyat, know that moon has 16 phases. It is written in Shastra. Tatrabjam tu vijaniyat shodasha chadamaindavam. 16 phases are there of the moon. The Rishi Munis have observed, right? Whatever, there are 16 petals of the born out of moon, sort of thing. And then Dvadasharam Bhavet Sauram. Then there are 12 lights, 12 spectrum of the light. Sauram. Dvadasharam Bhavet Sauram Ityagama Gatistviyam. So this way, there is, one should know that the moon is having the moon that we see in the sky, that is having 16 petals, in the sense 16 sort of phases, and the sun is having what we call Dvadasha Aram, 12 spectrum. Tatra Chatvari Drishyani Dalanguli Pidanat Khadyota Diti Lavanya Bhajita Varnayorapi Somadho Bhrulata Pranin Pranantikadale Kramat Vinashte Nirdishe Mrityum Shadbhir Yugmaika Masata. 1 year. The sign of 1 year death sign. What is that? Now, the same thing what I described in the previous this thing, but little bit describing it more here. There are three places where you can press the eye: top, middle, and bottom. And one more fourth is at this place. Okay, at the other end of the eye, that is towards the nose, the tip of the nose. So when you press here, you will see one moon, part of one moon, one phase of the moon, sort of, right? And if you press in the middle here, you will see one more moon. And on the top, if you press little bit top, not on top here, little bit on top, little bit on top above the middle, you will see another phase of the moon. And below, you will see another phase of the moon. So if you see these four phases, then it's fine. Otherwise, it's a sign. The same, that's why I've clubbed it. Why I'm jumping from 8 years to 1 year? Because the same signal is being spoken with a little more detail. So that's what I'm saying. Then there is one more thing. Khadyota Duti Lavanya Bhajita. Now, Khadyota Duti, if you, just one Prabhu, you said you're seeing bright, right? So if you press on the top of the eye, you will see bright light. Bright light. Actually, mine is diminished. That means
Yes, Prabhu. But I can't see any ball or anything, but some bright light I can see.
Bright light.
Yeah.
If you see that bright light split into 12 rainbow-like colors, then death is near. That is what it means. Okay. Khadyota Diti Lavanya Bhajita Varnayorapi, as if it is split into spectrum of colors, then death is near. And if we don't see Dvacharam Tatra Abhyam tu Vijaniya, so Sumadho Bhrulata Panga Vinashte Nirdishe Mrityum. So 100% the death is going to come if we don't see the Shashina. At least the four phases of this. Right? So let's go ahead. Vame Kshanadhastita Chandrikam.
Prabhuji, is
Yeah.
it possible that in some faces you see, but in some faces you don't see? It's still a sign.
Yeah, it is possible. In the previous this thing, I mentioned that at least one of the phase, at least we see some moon. But here in this symptom, it is given a little more in detail. At least 4 phases of the moon, like that. In other words, at least we see wherever we press little top away from the middle portion, in the middle, the bottom, and in this near the nose. If we press, we'll see Shashinaha, like the moon.
In all 4 places, we should be able to see if time is there. That's what it.
Yeah.
Sign means.
At least we should see. Wherever we press. I mean, in this at least 4. Yeah, we should see that. That's what this sign is mentioning.
Is it a black color?
See the moon, then sign is there or sign is not there.
Pardon, Ajay?
If you could see the moon, that signal is for death or not for death.
No, if you see the moon, then it's fine. Still some time is left.
Some time is there. Okay.
Is it a dark
Okay.
color? Is it a bright color?
I'm not able to hear. Please type this thing. Then we will come back to that. We will just go to another this thing. Vame Kshanadhastita Chandrikam Sanapashyati Swanguli Pidanena Tada Samasair Vigatist Shadvi Prayati Cha Evam Sakala Vihaya So again, the same symptom is repeated in Shadbhihi Prayati in 6 months. So the same, if we don't see, we may leave the body in 8 years also. The same thing in 1 year and 6 months also, the same symptom. That means in the 6th month, say I have 6 months left with me, then I get the same symptom. So I may leave the body so not that I'm going to leave this body at 8 years. Oh, I have 8 years time. No. You may be in 1 year or 6 months. The same symptom repeats. That means this symptom is a very important symptom. Right? So from today onwards, don't keep pressing the eyes every day. But naturally we will see that. When Krishna is giving a signal, we know, oh, and then we test it and then we understand, oh, Krishna. And then we see other signals, other symptoms and signs. Then we know whether my death is immediate, 6 months, 1 year, or 8 years. So I'm just saying this symptom also repeats at 1 year and 6 months. The same signal is mentioned in the again Aditya Purana only. Vamekshana adhastitaha Chandrikam sana pashyati swanguli pidanena tadasam asair vigatescha shadbhi prayati cha evam sakala vihaya. So 100% this sign will repeat. Okay, let's go ahead. There is one more interesting. Bhrumarga sankocha samstitam cha sampidaneva pashyet yatam tada tribhir maser gataischani chidram tum marmani jhati tani. Bhrumarga sankocha samstham Sampidanaanneva pashyed adatam tada. So bhru marga, this bhru means the eyebrows. If you press bhru marga sankocha, space between the eyes and the bhru marga, there is that if you press, you will see bright light. If you don't see, then Maranam Jahati, when Tribhir Masai, 3 months. So this I'll explain in the next slide. Let's go next. Athapi vidhaya akshini upaichita tadyatha bhatarakani sampatanti vadrishyante tani yada na pashyet tadyapi ayameva vidyat. So Aitareya Aranyaka Vedas is telling that if you press on top of the eye, tip of top, can you see me? On top of the eye, if you press, okay, Bhatarakani, you should see as if fireballs are falling or moving. With a bright light, if the fireballs sort of things are moving, you should see that. If you don't see, then death is near. How near? It can be immediate also. But point is, we should see that. In fact, I used to see this a few years back, but I am not seeing now, While I am speaking, I am not seeing that actually. Not only now, I noticed it. But point is, we see, I am not able to see actually. But many of you can appreciate. If you press the top of the eye, little bit, you can see fireballs like balls falling or moving. That is called as Bhatarakani Sampatantiva, as if it is falling. Can you appreciate? Sampatantiva drishyante tani yara na pashyet tadyapi ayameva vidyat. I think many chat messages are being mentioned, which I am not able to read. Anyway, so
I'm sure we will have lots of questions now, Prabhu.
Lots of questions. Okay, so let's complete 1 or 2 more. Right? I have a lot of things to cover, isn't it? Netra adhastam tam prapashyam.
The one that you just said is a sign for 8 years duration, or what duration we are going?
That is immediate. It can be immediate also. See, these signs which till now I mentioned, is like a family of the same similar symptoms. If you go back 2 slides back, Prabhu, please. 3 months. Go to 3 months. Yeah, the one. Next. Next one. Yeah. So here we said one more sign is also included in this. Pashyed yatam tada tribhir marge tribhir masa gataischa nitya gate narascha. Chidram tu marmani jahatitani. Chidram. If the private parts is there is a feeling as if there is a pain in the private parts, and there is a feeling that it is as if being cut with the scissors. That kind of pain or the feeling is also a symptom that in 3 months one will leave the body. Along with such symptoms as I mentioned, eyes, right? So 2 things. One is Shashinaha, you will see a moon-like structure. And if you press on top, Batarakani, as if fireballs, like on the fireball sort of structure is rolling or falling or moving. Actually, that can be appreciated, but I cannot see that nowadays. Before, just if you press little bit, I would see that. I think many of you can appreciate. How many can see that?
Prabhu, I can see.
I can see,
I
bro.
can see. I can see.
Yeah, you have a long life.
I don't see
I
any
don't
of
think
them.
I can see.
Thank you,
I
Prabhu,
can
for your
see
blessings.
Yeah. So please let us understand, those who can see, yes, that doesn't mean, oh, Haribol, I have, no. That is, yes, Krishna, by mercy, I am having this much, little more time, and let me chant Hare Krishna and perfect my life. What is that? To develop love for Krishna, is it not? Before we leave this body, we should develop personal relationship with Krishna. That is our purpose. And those who are not able to see, like me, oh, Krishna, okay, I have very less time. Let me chant Hare Krishna thoroughly, seriously, sincerely. Let me try to fulfill my life. Krishna, please help me. Is it not? Okay. Let's go to the next.
So, Prabhu,
Netradastham tam prapashyan swakantim tasmad varshe panchabi samprayati. In 5 years. I have 5 years time. When? Netra adhastham tam prapashyan adhastham. If you see, retract your eyes below like this. Means you see down, full exact down from your eyes. Okay? Like this, in this direction. And if you don't notice, Netra adhastham tam prapashyan swakantim tasmad varshesh panchabhi samprayati. If you see below, you should be able to see your cheeks. Part of your cheek. A part of your cheek. Right? If you are not able to see, then tasmad varshai panchabhi samprayati. You will leave the body in 5 years. So we will leave the body. In 5 years, if we don't see our own cheek when we see exact, fully retracted eye down. Okay? If we don't see that, time is very soon coming up. 5 years. Okay, can you all appreciate that? This is a very simple.
Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu, we can see.
I can't see, Prabhu. I can't see.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
So are they sure sign, or like, because there are so many, right? Like some are visual, some are like, by pressing the eyes. So
Yeah. I mean, Shastra is mentioning these things, right? One of the important signs that we should be able to see below the, when we retract our eyes, I think you are not able to understand. Retract your eyes completely below. Okay? Move your eyeballs completely below. Means you try to see exact down here. Right? And we should be able to see a part of the cheek. Maybe you are very little difficult. I can try. Not that you are not able to see now. You can try again.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So
Yeah.
when you're doing this, when you're retracting your eyes and looking completely below, it's, when you say you're looking at the cheek, it's just like a black thing. Is that what you're saying? I can feel there's something there.
You will see,
but I can't see
what do you call, impediment to see the whole thing now. Isn't it? So your cheeks or your some part of your missing
Yes,
his
yes,
feet.
exactly. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
One more question, if I may, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the other signs that you mentioned about pressing the eyes in the different parts, say,
Yeah.
I tried it with all the other parts. There was nothing that you can see that I could see, like no moon. It's just like black. Okay, not even the
Yeah.
fireballs and nothing.
Yeah.
So because that has 3 months, and you said that the last one is like could be immediate as well.
Yeah.
So how do you reconcile when, say, if you look at the 5-year one, you can see actually I can see the cheeks, which I'm feeling, which I can see the cheeks. So how do you reconcile those both then, Prabhu? Like,
Yeah. So, yeah, very important. That's why contemplation is required. We understand that, time may be between so and so, but let us see various other symptoms. Krishna is giving in dreams in various ways. He is giving various signals. Uh, so we have to reconcile with other signals, other indications by Krishna. Oh, this is what it is. Then we'll come to some understanding. Oh, maybe this is. Then it may happen now. It may happen after a few years. No problem, Krishna. Whatever you want, I'm ready. I'm trying to be ready. This is what it means. Right? And we can reconcile. Naturally, as a human being, we want to reconcile. But the way to reconcile is to depend on Krishna completely.
yes.
And second thing is to analyze with other symptoms, other signals which Krishna is giving.
Okay.
And
Thank
always be on the recipient side, waiting for it. I mean, vigilant on it, not waiting, sort of being vigilant about it. Right?
Prabhuji, you said we should be able to see 4 phases of the moon. Like how? In those 3 positions of the eyes? Or?
Yeah. Can you? I'm really sorry. Whenever you ask a question, you can
Shama.
please name yourself.
Sorry.
Yes.
Shama.
I'm sorry. Everybody else also, please. Yes, Mataji. You asked.
So you said 4 phases of the moon should be seen with the different eye positions, or I
different when we press at a different position, right?
Yeah.
Little press more. If you press lightly, you may see a brighter one. If you press little more, that's why it's Pidaneva. Some Pidaneva means Samyak Pidana, means you thoroughly press it. Don't press it too much, but press it little so that you can see Shashinaha. So at the different 4 places, top, middle, bottom, and at this end. Right? So you will see Shashinaha. The 4 positions we'll see, sort of moon-like structure.
Moon-like structure along with the fireball in the top position?
That is also possible, because I am not.
I don't think I've seen either.
Okay.
Or is it better to turn off the light and try?
No, well, you can. Yeah, we need to try it. You can try it in sun.
Does it make any difference?
When there is sunlight, also you can try at home, etc. We need to try a bit and see. And somebody will ask, "What the hell are you doing?" Instead of chanting. No, well, we are just trying to see what Krishna is giving. Right? Yeah, I'm just joking. So let's go ahead. Sign indicating death in 4 years or 2 years before. Granopante tamna pashyan chaturbhir varshai dvayenaiva gatena mrityum. Again, Aditya Purana is speaking. Grahana upante. So, grahana means the nose. Upante, that is the tip. Tam na pashyan chaturbhir varshescha dvayenaiva gatena mrityum. So, if we don't see the tip of our own nose, if we retract our eyes and try to see the tip of our nose, and if we don't see it, then in 4 years and 2 years, or 2 years, wow, dvayenaiva va chaturvirvarshe va gatena mrityum. Death is going to happen. So Grhanopante, we should be able to see the tip of our nose. Okay? I think everybody can see. Is it not? Can you all see? Who cannot see? Don't announce it. But see, very important point. I would like to make very important point.
We can see.
If we are understanding that this is a death sign for me, we should not reveal it to anybody. We should not reveal it to anybody. Unless extremely close, extremely very great well-wisher of us, we should not reveal it to anybody. Because nobody will understand, and even if they understand, it will become a havoc. They will cry and do and that and this. And so many things will happen. So it is between me and Paramatma. It is between me and Krishna. Right? I understand this, and it's between me and Krishna. And then I may reveal it to a very close person whom we are with. Maybe. Right? But not anybody else. One who is not that's why I told Satyam Dayatapa Shaucham. Don't go on. So Satyam, who is having? Satyam means Bhuta Droha Varjitam. One should be a person who is always feeling that let good things happen to everybody. This is called as Satyam. Bhuta Droha Varjitam. We should not be feeling any droha about anybody. That is called Satyam. That quality of thinking that Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha. Let everybody be happy. Let good things happen to everybody. What is that good thing? Let everybody be Krishna conscious. Is it not? That is our feeling. If that feeling is there of such a person, only then we can really reveal. There should not be. So a very close person whom we can have very good confidence. Only to such people we should reveal it. So very careful we should be in respecting Krishna's signals. We understand Krishna's signals and we respect it. Right. Granopante tam na shashina pashyan chaturvair varshe dvayenaiva vagatena mrityum. We should be able to see the tip of it. Okay, let's go ahead. In 3 years, दृष्टेत आकस्मिकः क्वापि पुरुषः कृष्णपिङ्गलः यदि वा अब्धत्रये नूनं मरणं परिकीर्तयेत्. नूनं 100%. नूनं प्रमत्तकृते विकर्म. So certainly दृष्टेक आकस्मिकः. Suddenly, while we are going somewhere, suddenly if we see what? Krishna Pingalaha, a black owl. Yadi va abdatraye, then death 3 years. Nunam maraki. Now why the black owl came in front of us? Paramatma chodita. By being moved by Paramatma to give us an indication, the black owl came in front of us. Or we could see the black owl in the daytime. It's usually not seen, is it not? Drishte kakasmika kwapi purusha Krishna Pingala yadi va abdatraye nunam maranam parikirtayet. So usually we don't see owls, isn't it? We don't see that usually. But it is possible that we see sometimes, very rarely, very, very rare. And especially if a black owl is seen, then...
Prabhu, you said Shakun in the meantime again. So is it Shakun or like black owl?
Shakuna is a terminology which is the same synonymous to Nimitta, but it is more used for Adi Bhautika, means in the birds, in the animals, in the trees, in the atmosphere, in other person's behavior, in various non-living things that we see or we come across or some symptoms. So in general, for Adi Bhautika symptoms, we call as Shakuna. In general. Sometimes it is used for others also. In our body also we get various symptoms. That is also called as Shakuna. So Nimitta and Shakuna, Arishta, they are synonymous. Arishta is more used when we are specifically talking of Marana Nimittas. Then we say Arishtas. So like that, it's more synonymous. So Shakuna, when I said, is it means like a pakshi, which is giving some symptoms. So if we see owl in the daytime, a black owl, then then it means that death is near in 3 years. Because Kapota, Gridraha, these are birds which are Kakaha, Kapota, Gridraha. These are inauspicious birds. Inauspicious means what? They are auspicious. They may be auspicious. The bird itself may be, they're very intelligent, they're very good, and that is not the point. Inauspicious, they foretell inauspicious things. They foretell. How? By Paramatma Choditaha. No, by the Supreme Lord in the heart. Right? They're very intelligent beings, especially the crow is extremely intelligent. I have a separate chapter in my book, Nimitta-Jnana, on crows actually. They're very, very intelligent and they can help us predict a lot of things. Okay, let's go ahead.
One on the crow that near my house I see one or two crows come and we put some chapati or something for them to eat.
Yeah,
so like
yeah.
seeing a crow and feeding them something like that, is that auspicious?
No. Not seeing a crow. The crow we see every day, everywhere. But there are certain symptoms we see. For example, I can tell by sound of the music of the birds, today it's going to rain or not. And we can tell half an hour before by seeing the symptoms of the crows, oh, in half an hour it is going to rain. Oh, in 1 hour or in 8 hours it is going to rain. And crows, when there are many multiple symptoms of behavior of animals. So all these things Rishi Munis have studied very much in details, and they have given a lot of things. This is an amazing, this thing, science, Nimitta-Jnana. Okay. So yeah, so no need to worry. It's not about. I will come to that next point. The prose is being spoken somewhere in this 1 or 2 slides which I wanted to cover, so we can see certain symptoms.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
So I'm just time conscious. Like we got 10 more minutes to go, so just giving you heads up.
Okay. So actually, I think we had announced for 5:30 to 6:30 a.m. 6:30. And
No,
then maybe
7, Prabhu. Till 7. 5:30 to 7.
Oh yeah. In the poster somewhere maybe a mistake. Anyway.
Means you said 1.5 hour a day, so it's 5:30 to 7.
Yeah. So we have 10 more minutes, right, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
And question answers I can take in the WhatsApp. Is it
Yes.
not?
Yes, Prabhu. So people can type in the question and answers. Questions in the chat, and you can answer them later.
And anyway, it's being interactive. Devotees are also asking, and anybody can, specifically on that slide, they can ask. If there is beyond the slide, then they can type in and we can answer it later.
Thanks.
Okay. How many devotees are there today? 62.
62.
Okay. Actually, 90 registered, but I think because of the timing factors, some of devotees left actually the group. When I wrote to them, they mentioned because of the time, they thought it's not convenient for them, etc. Anyway. Okay. The next one from Aditya Purana. Sa Vayugatram Tvatha Krishnaraktam tu Akasmikam Swam cha Puragrasanstham Narakritim Vikshya Tribistvarshai so Utkantitha Yati Tanum Vihaya. Utkantitha, very painfully death is there in 3 years. Oh my God, really? What is that? If we see, what do we see? So Vayugatram, a very hefty, well-built person. Okay. Tuvatha Krishnaraktam, and he is wearing dark red clothes. So Vayugatram Tuvatha Krishnaraktam Tu Akasmikam. Suddenly if we see such a person, suddenly means if we see such a person, which we don't see regularly, isn't it? If we see such a person, Swam cha Puragrasamstham, standing at the entrance of the town or entrance of some arc or somewhere, right? Arch. There is some arch, and at the entrance of that, or at the entrance of the town, Puragrasamstham. If you're area is starting from that position, and that is the entrance of your area, say, and that's where we see such a person. Krishna Raktam, Vayugatram Tudha Krishna Raktam Tu Akasmikam. And then we also tend to feel to go there and stand there. Swam cha Puragasam Sam. This now you may say, come on, this is a one in a million chance that I will go. Now that I know this sign, I will not go. But that is not the point. Point is, at least even if we see such a person, such a person, it means what? Viksha Trivistu Varshe so Utkantitayati Tanum Vihaya. It's a representation of what do you call Yamadut actually. Representation of it, waiting for us. So in other words, in Narakritim Viksha Trivistu Varshe so Utkantitayati Tanum Vihaya. Then we may leave the body in 3 years. Now someone may ask, is it while being awake or in the dream? In both dream or awake, this symptom holds an importance. Okay, so Vayu Gatram Tvataha Krishna Raktam Tu Akasmikam Swam Cha Puragrasam Sam. And I also, by unfortunate, I also land there. I don't know why am I pulled to go and go near that person or go near that entrance, or somehow I am also there. Is it not? Narakritim Viksha Trivistu Varshe Sa Utkantitayati Tanum Vihaya. Then, in 3 years, I may leave the body. Okay, let's go to I think the last slide we will touch and then we will stop. Karnopante tam na pashyan tribhischa varshair titaihi prajahati sarvamsha. Varshair atitaihi. So, not more than, atitaihi means not more than 3 years. One will not live more than 3 years. Oh, really? What is that? Karnopante tam na pashyanti. So, if we don't pashyan, if we see, retract our eyes to the tip, and try to see the tip of the ears, means towards the ears. And if we don't see any objects, then prajahati in 3 years. Did you understand? Retract your eyes to completely.
We can't
See you.
Prabhu, we can't see your video.
Yes.
Really? Okay.
Prabhuji, we can't see.
I don't look good anyway. Okay. So, you can see me?
You are transcendental, Prabhu.
If you see that like a dancer, a Bharatanatyam dancer, what they do, they see the tip of they retract their eyes at the far end, is it not? So similarly, if you retract your eyes to the far end and you don't see any objects that side, got it? Or you retract your eyes this side and you don't see any object that side, towards your ears, the tip of the ear, as if you're trying to see the tip of the ear. So if you retract your eyes and don't see anything there, that is an indication that death is in 3 years. Okay? Karanopante tam na pashyan tribhischa varshe atitai prajahati sarvam. Atitai, no, they will not live more than 3 years. Okay?
Prabhuji, this is Shama. Any
Yes.
object, by any object you mean we'll be able to see the side of the face or something else?
No, not the side of the face, any object. The tip of as if we are trying to see the tip of the ear, we try to see the far end of our, to whatever extent we can extend our eyes, we try to see the we try to notice the far end of the structure, objects. If you don't see such things.
But I'm able to see the other, just the normal stuff that are in the room. That's how it should be. If you can't see the other things in the room, which you can generally see.
No. Yeah. That's what I mean.
Okay.
You may not be able to see very distinctly what it is, but you will see some objects. Right? You may not know what it is, but since I know what it is, I see. There's a books here. I can see some books like that, but I can't see which book. But you can see something, right? So we'll stop here, and I hope this was useful, and we will see more such symptoms, varieties of symptoms, and try to analyze each symptom. But because the idea is we should all be able to identify. We can run through this, but it's nice to go through it also. Nice, right?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Dipankar here. Prabhu, the previous slide which you mentioned that you will see the representation of Yamduta, like a very healthy built person.
Yeah.
And you mentioned something about the color or the dress. So I missed that part. What was that?
Krishna Raktam means dark red. Krishna means dark, and red. Raktam means red. So dark red color cloth, maroonish cloth. Why, I don't know. It's mentioned in Shastra. Generally, it's said in dreams also. When we come about dreams, dark red lady will come in the dream, or I mean, lady wearing dark red clothes. So dark red is something to do with Yamadutas.
So dark red will have a heavy build?
Yeah, heavy built. You can name
it's
yourself.
Not only for gents. Yeah, this is Aniruddha Nityajnana. So it's not only man, it's I think both man and woman, it seems like.
Here, Purusha it is mentioned, but in dream, in other symptom, it is mentioned lady also. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, mother. Last question we can take.
Hare Krishna. I think I'm Shantimai. So that means
yes,
in Yamadutas we have both female and male.
Good question. Yeah, there can be female and male. Why only male? But there may be some female police also, is it not? So similarly, there may be female like wives of Yamadutas. Huh? But point is, it is mentioned that ladies are seen. A lady sort of a thing is seen in the dreams. So at least some representation of what do you call Yamaduta. So in hell we don't know. I don't remember. Maybe say we all have gone through in some way or the other, but I don't remember. There may be. So it is natural because in the symptoms it is mentioned. So there could be.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. This is Gopika. So you told us 5-6 different signals. So out of these, if you could able to see few, not all, so what does that mean?
Yeah. So again, we are dependent on Krishna. Krishna, what are you exactly telling us? I am seeing such symptoms and certain symptoms I am not able to see. So that means contemplation and waiting, just waiting like a bull, thinking, being vigilant about it. So just being vigilant and Krishna will reveal more. Right?
One question more, Prabhu. So, Prabhu, what you are explaining, just I'm asking, have you tried or have you realized these things on others or yourself, that this is true, this is happening like that? Means I'm asking the validity or... Yeah,
just now I mentioned personally you're asking, right?
Yes. Personally or another.
Yeah, I mean, see, these symptoms are realized knowledge in the Shastras, right? So, like I mentioned, Vedas, whatever is called Vedas is 100% true. That faith we have, intrinsic. And Shastras Rishi Munis are not simply writing these things. They have thoroughly analyzed, studied, researched, seen, and done all the trials, clinical trials, and have done all those things. And we can also appreciate it, actually. We can personally appreciate it. Like I said, I can't see the Bhattarakani. Can't see that. But I used to see a few years before. I used to see that a few years before. But I can't see that now. So this way, and we can see, as we go on with various symptoms, we can see, and very quickly understand, oh, this person may be quite near to death. And I have known, I can understand, and I have personally experienced that when I felt that somebody are showing symptoms of certain death signs, then they have left the body also. It is possible. It is possible. That's why I said we have to be very humble. We have to be very dependent on Krishna. We should not be like revealing to everybody. We should be very contemplative and fully dependent on Krishna. Fully dependent on Krishna to study these, understand, to analyze, to experience, for our own life, for others' benefits also. Right? Prabhupada wrote a mail to Mahatma Gandhi once long back that you should retire now. Time is very soon that for you. You should retire now and fully dedicate. But Prabhupada says he didn't listen. He didn't even reply. But he didn't listen actually. So literally we can see amongst many people. I will as we go along we'll discuss many things, but very carefully we should discuss these things also. Okay, so we'll stop here.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Dandavats. I'm Champaklata Devidasi. I'm sorry, you were just about to stop and I just spoke. So shall I send the question in WhatsApp?
Yeah, you can go along. No problem, you can ask.
Okay. Prabhuji, recently, it's a very personal question. I mean, recently, after the demise of His Grace Hari Kirtan Prabhu, I mean, you have been in touch with him for almost a few months before that too.
Yeah.
So could you understand any such signs that he's going to pass away?
Yeah, we could understand certain symptoms, but I think, yeah, as you said, it's quite personal, and also we should discuss a little more in detail. We can do as we go along. We will see various signs, symptoms. We'll see that.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you all very much for being patient and listening.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Vaishnavabhyascha kripa sindhubhyo eva cha patitanam Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Sarvam Krishnarpanamas.
Hari. Thank you. Thank you so much.